Aides to the Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, who died in prison earlier this month, say his funeral will be held in Moscow on Friday. So far, there's been no reaction by Russian authorities to the announcement. Navalny's widow, Yulia, says she hopes that the gathering will be peaceful. A short while ago, Navalnaya received a standing ovation after addressing the European Parliament in a session to honor her late husband. She has emerged as the face of Russia's embattled opposition movement. Navalnaya accused President Vladimir Putin of murdering her husband and also spoke of the war in Ukraine. She warned Europe against negotiating with Putin.
You cannot hurt Putin with another resolution or another set of sanctions. That is no different from the previous ones. You cannot defeat him by thinking he is a man of principle who has morals and rules. He is not like that, and Alexei realized that a long time ago. You are not dealing with a politician, but with a bloody monster.
And earlier, I spoke to DW Riga bureau chief Yuri Resheto and to DW correspondent Bernd Riegert in Strasbourg and asked Bernd, what was Yulia Navalnaya's message to the European Parliament?
Well, the mourning widow appealed in a very moving speech to the parliamentarians here in Strasbourg to overcome the Putin regime, not by resolutions and sanctions rounds, but by other means. She said, don't be boring, be innovative like my husband was. You have to go after the mafia that is surrounding the Russian president, she said. You have to cut them off from business. Putin is not a subject which you can actually negotiate. He is, as you said, he is a bloody monster. That was a quote by her. And so basically it was all about Putin and how to overcome him. And she also reminded the parliamentarians that there's another Russia, that millions of Russians are actually against Putin. And she told Parliament to try to support those people. But of course, this is very difficult under a regime in Moscow, under a dictatorship with no media, with no freedom at all.
Yulia Navalnaya said that she's not sure if her husband's funeral will be peaceful this Friday. What can you tell us?
Well, of course, Gerhard, we don't know either, but when you consider how many thousands of people, of Russians, ordinary Russians, have gone to the memorials for politically persecuted people in Russia with flowers in the last few days to pay their last respects to Alexei Navalny, even though they risked their freedom and many were arrested in the attempt, considering at the same time that the Navalny team was unable to find a large hall for the funeral ceremony and instead, at least according to their own statements, was forced to organize only a small church ceremony, considering the apparently unexplained or unclear circumstances under which Navalny died, considering all this, let's say, anger regarding Navalny's death, I can well imagine that there will be many people in Russia who will use Friday to express their protests loudly. But as far as I know, there are no calls for protests from the Navalny team itself. Rather, the Navalny people have called on Russian voters to legally express their protest in the ballot box on election day, March 17th, when the new president is elected in Russia. However, if the day after tomorrow, on Friday, Navalny's funeral is followed by major riots, then this is, of course, a worst-case scenario for the Russian authorities that they have been trying to avoid.
Our correspondents Yuri Resheto in Riga and Bernd Riegert in Strasbourg there.